slope-intercept form. Okay, so slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b. Okay, so let's bring this over here. So we got y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I know this has been reviewed, but I realize we probably have to recall it as well. Okay, so y is going to remain y. Okay, your m is going to be a number times x plus, and then your b is going to be a number as well. Okay, now I'm going to write this again. So you got y equal mx plus b. Okay, so m is called your slope. Okay, so m is your slope. Okay, so then that means that's your rise over your run. So rise over run. Okay, so this should ring a bell. Okay, I spell it on purpose. I misspell it on purpose because rise goes with your y, so that would be your y-axis. So rise, run, and then always try to run to the right. There will be times that, that's not the case because you can't get the pattern going, but rise, run, right, they all begin with R. Okay, so then that's your slope. Okay, and sometimes I call this the slope. Okay, so we got the slope, and so that's your slope. And then we've got your b, which is called your y-intercept. Okay, and that y-intercept, that is where you start your graphing on the y-axis. So that's your starting point on the y-axis. Okay, all right, so that is where we're going to start this. Okay, so let's look at an example. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to erase because I want to make sure I don't run out of room. Okay, so you probably have that down by now. So I'm just going to erase this. Okay, so then let's look at an example because it's so much easier to look at examples. Okay, so we have 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Okay, all right, it looks similar to the last one we did. Now, this is 2x plus 3y equals 6. This needs to be in the form y equal mx plus b. Okay, so remember in chapter 1 when we solved for the variable? Here we'll be solving for y. So this would be like solve for y. Remember when we did all those formula problems there. So you're going to solve for y here. So that's what we have to do first because we need to put it in y equal mx plus b form. We need to isolate this y. Okay, so to isolate the y, let's kind of cover this up. We need to get rid of this. Okay, so we're going to subtract 2x. Okay, subtract 2x. Now don't put it underneath the 6, okay, because it doesn't go with it. So put it off to the side so you don't accidentally combine those. This is gone. Bring down your 3y equals, and then I like to put the x term first. So this is negative 2x, and that's a plus 6. Put it in this form so you don't make a careless error of picking the wrong items. So then, we're almost done. We have to get y by itself. So we're going to divide by 3 everywhere. Okay, I like to write it like this instead of one big bar because sometimes you forget the different separate items. Okay, so then this is going to be y equals, and we're just going to reduce wherever we can. So this is negative 2/3 x, and then 6 divided by 3 is a positive 2. Okay, so now this is in y equal mx plus b form. So you write that right underneath, and then your items line right up. Okay, so then here's your y. Okay, and then remember I said this was a number. Whoops, I erased it, but you have it. Okay, so this is y equals, and then you're going to have negative 2/3 x plus 2. I don't need to write this again. Okay, so what happens with this is these line right up. So negative 2/3 ends up being n. Do not take the x with it. Remember I said n was a number. Okay, I think I really did want to write this. I wanted to write number x plus number. That's how that's going to look. So my n is negative 2/3, and my b, I take the signs with them. B is equal to 2. So I'm going to put this on the side here. So I have my slope is equal to a negative 2/3. Okay? And that is my rise over my run. This is your work right here, rise over run. Okay, when we have a negative, okay, that means we're going to go down 2 over 3 to the right. That's what this means. Okay? And then my b is equal to 2, okay, which is my y-intercept. That is what my b represents in this problem. And then b is equal to 2. Okay? Now that ends up being, that is your start on the y-axis. Okay? And if you take a look at this word star is actually in the word start, so we're actually going to star this on the graph. So star on the graph, and that will be our starting point. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to graph this. So we have x and y. Don't forget to label your axes. You know I'm a stickler about that. Okay, so then let's go ahead. This is where we're going to start. Okay, so this is a positive 2 on the y-axis. That's why it's called the y-intercept. It's where it touches the y-axis. So b is 2. So you want to go to 2, and I'm going to put a star there because that's where I'm starting, and then you can see that. Okay, now from here, this negative, always let your negative b go down. Okay, don't represent your negative to go left. Represent your negative to go down. It'll be much, much easier for you. So then down 2 and 3 to the right. So then you're going to go down 1, 2, and then 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So you're going to go down 2 and 3 to the right, and then you put your dot. So you're going to do a pattern. So then from here, do it again. Down 2 and run 3 to the right. And we'll do it one more time. Down 2 from here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to the right. Okay? Now, it's good to do a nice pattern here, and then do your, take your ruler and do your line. Your ruler applied all the way across your paper, which is good. Go ahead and do that. This is great. 3 points. You need to have 3 points with this because any 2 dots will just line up, and you'll never know if you're really right or not. But if you have 3 that really line up, then you know you got to be on the right track. Okay, so then go back to your original. This is what this equation is. So this is 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. Always go back to your original problem when you're labeling your graphs. Okay, so that's this answer. There's your equation of your graph. There's your y-intercept 2, okay? And then your x-intercept actually ends up being 3. Okay, so we can actually, let's check that. Because you got it 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. So you got 2x plus 3y equals 6 from when you did standard form. Okay, so when I cover this up, I divide this by 3 and I get 2. So that's true. Okay, when I cover this up, I divide by 2 and that's 3. So that's true also. Okay, so that's a great check as well. But you got to follow the directions. That might be easier to graph with, but your directions say solve by using slope-intercept form. So this is the way that we have to do it here. When you use your graphing calculator, which I will show you later, you have to always put this in y equal mx plus b form. That's the only way the graphing calculator will recognize that.